the Kremlin side, there you can see the fortress. As each old Russian town, which was the center of principality, had its own fortress, which was built on the highest, on the picturesque place available. And for the ancient Russian people, the Kremlin meant the same as, for example, Acropolis for the ancient Athenians. So now there will be a better view of the Kremlin side, and we shall make Detsinets derives from the Russian word Detsi. But in the 15th century, when the fortress was rebuilt, it was...
Looking at Novgorod. Novgorod.
Oh, it is right. It's not. Oh, it's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Yeah.
To have the rich soul, and when built in 1208, Saint Paraskiva was the patroness of trade, and Paraskiva means Friday. This church differs a little bit from the other churches of Novgorod. Here we can see the influence of the Romanesque style of architecture. And have a look, the central apse of the brick church has semicircular shape, but the side apses are rectangular. That is, these are the typical features of the Romanesque style. But the church was very popular with the local girls. Even now they believe that if a girl prays for the whole night and then early in the morning runs around the church of Saint Paraskiva, she will get married definitely. Venerated as the patron of all the travelers and seamen. That is the oldest cathedral on the market side. It was built in 1113. And now it's of Novgorod, 12th century. As I told you, there existed 50 monasteries in Novgorod, and around the times of wars, Novgorod monasteries were used as fortresses. But many of them lost their power and dignity 300-400 years ago. Many of them were badly damaged during the years of the occupation, as Novgorod was under the Germans' occupation for 2.5 years. But I shall tell you more about the events of the World War II during our tour. But now have a look here. There is the beautiful blending of 2 centuries. Here to the right is the impressive cathedral of the 17th century, and to the left is the most beautiful church of Novgorod. Town could compete Novgorod masters who produced the cloisonné enamel. So the 14th century for Novgorod is the period of the highest flourishing. And sometimes we say that Novgorod is the good example. So again, this is the river Volkhov, and from here you can see the white building. That's the modern building. I don't know if you like it or not. That's the drama theater, but very often it's compared with the chemical factory. We have a chemical company in Novgorod. No, we are not very just proud of this new drama theater. And here is the brown building. It was built after the World War II. That's the Yan sign, Leningrad. You see center, and then to the right, Leningrad. So that's the highway to Leningrad or St. Petersburg. And there you will see many factories and industrial enterprises. Novgorod, the present-day population of Novgorod is named after the St. Sophia Cathedral, and the building with yellow columns and the Russian flag on the top of the roof was constructed in 1959. This is the building of the regional administration, as Novgorod is the regional town and the population of the whole region is 700,000 people. To the left is the three-storied building of the 19th century. After the restoration, it will house one of the faculties of the Polytechnical University. And the building was designed by the architect Schneider in the 19th century. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the parking. Here we'll get off the coach.
On our way to the Kremlin.
Are you?
You've got to go forward a little bit.
Yeah, well, we have.
Which is dedicated to 1000th anniversary of the foundation of the Russian state. And it was unveiled in Novgorod in 1862 by sculptor Michael Mityash. It is designed in the shape of a pen lowered down to the ground, as Belmont Russia was the symbol of independence. It consists of two parts. The large circular pedestal covered with figures. There are 109 figures around the pedestal. It supports a huge globe representing the old military cross. At the foot of the cross to the left is the kneeling figure of a woman in the national Russian costume. She symbolizes Russia. And as I described to you already, that Novgorod was founded. Then one of the most famous Tsars in Russia was certainly Peter the Great, the founder of St. Petersburg. The grand statue of him we shall see from the northern side. But here you can see the Tsar in high boots with the hands like this, and his contemporary Prince Dolgoruki is trying to give him a piece of advice. Russian generals and folk heroes are represented beneath. And the flowers are for Alexander Nevsky, Prince of Novgorod. And in the 12th century, by the way, Novgorod achieved independence from Kiev. And princes were deprived of all their political rights. Novgorod invited princes only in the times of wars. And here in the Kremlin there was a square for the Republic. Here people of Novgorod gathered with the chime of the town's bell to discuss different problems of the Republic, to elect the mayor and the archbishop. And when there was the threat from the north, or from Mongol Tatars approached Novgorod, Novgorodians invited Alexander Nevsky, who was a very wise politician. Here, thanks to him, Novgorod had never been conquered by Mongol Tatars. He gained victory over the Swedes on the Neva River and was nicknamed Nevsky, Neva River. Then over the Germans on the Ice Lake. And Alexander Nevsky made a famous speech in front of the walls of the St. Sophia Cathedral. Built in 1045-1050 by Novgorod Prince Vladimir. But this door was brought to Novgorod from Sweden, from the ancient Swedish town Sigtuna, by the Swedish merchants who had their own trading yard in Novgorod. So these dolls are adorned with the scenes from the Old and New Testament. You can see different scenes here: Christ in majesty, entry into Jerusalem, the nativity of Christ. Here at the bottom of the left part of the doll, there are two silver spheres from Germany. One of them is written, the man with the scales, and the second one to the right is the man with the long hair. He is bicycling. There are Latin inscriptions, and by the way, there is a Slavonic translation. The translation was made by the Novgorod man whose name was Abraham. He put these panels together. He was an educated person. He made a translation, and then he cast his own figure and placed it between two scenes. Here we can see Novgorod man between two scenes, Adam and Eve, then Novgorod man Abraham with the Russian Orthodox cross, and then Eve appearing from the rib of Adam. Probably he made the figure of centralized. One of the panels had been lost during the transportation. The lion's heads are the personification of hell, descent to hell. And have a look, in the mouth of the lion, which is to the right, there is only one sinner, but to the left there are several sinners. And you know what it means? It's a warning to the believers before they enter this cathedral. And the warning is, great sinners go to hell one by one, but average sinners can go there in groups. So just this door is...
That's nothing to do with the camera, has it?
What about the film? Is there something to do with the film?
Yeah,
Front of the belfry, and the biggest one weighs 26 tons. That's the festival bell of Novgorod. To the left is the Sunday's bell and 3 everyday bells. And then there are 2 more bells. Those are the replicas of the just the 16th century bell which was here. But you know, there are only 5 original bells because before the Germans occupied Novgorod, local people tried to evacuate the valuables. The icons, the bells, and just it is the former church of entry into Jerusalem. After the war it was refurbished, and now this is the concert hall. Then just here in the Kremlin we have...
the pillbox in the war at St. Petersburg, opposite the hotel. The hotel in St. Petersburg.
Of viewing all these lovely sculptures. The sculptures very emotional, we think, very strong, really giving you an idea of the defense of this city. A stela, 47 meters high granite stela showing the years of the war, and then the American writer about Nicholas II and his family, and this we call Alexander Palace, built in the days of Alexander I. It was then all through the 19th century. To the left, please.
the palace of Catherine the Great.
All these buildings, of course, were built after the war. This is the central department store of this area. The city, 5 million people. As I mentioned it yesterday, the city of St. Petersburg, left and right, and newspapers distributed here. This is down to the metro station. Metro line is very easy from your hotel. If you would stay longer, you would have the chance then to travel by metro downtown. It's only 20 minutes, 7 stops, direct line, and you're there in Nevsky Prospect, in Nevsky Avenue. Well, the statue to Vladimir Lenin on your right, we got on his centennial in 1970, and the structure behind the statue, which really looks very soft, to bring it down here. This was a very popular area, very close to the airport, so that was the idea. So that structure on your right, which now houses very big radio electronics center of the city and of the country, doing very well, very prosperous, living good, as we say. Also just walking around with children, they come. In front of us, that solid building on this Obvodnoy Canal is the department store, but it went through fire, and actually for many years nobody wants it because the municipality has no money enough to risk, maybe, especially arranged fire. There were different talks about. Anyway, Obvodnoy Canal, which we are crossing now, showed the limits of the city. In the end of 19th Research Institutes, they also make this area popular. So that's what all this. This is the metro station in front of us. Look how many young people. Are of the early 19th century. And that's when they were open, and so that's what they all are. This building in front of us now on your right is Technological Institute, and this is of chemical industry. Also another pile of young people walking down to the entrance. And on your left, Minter, which was not very far from here, in 18th century, from this particular river. And in front of us is Railway Engineering College, and if you just walk along this college, you face Haymarket Square. And the Haymarket Square is a very famous place for St. Petersburg. If you love Dostoevsky, then of course you couldn't miss Haymarket Square, because Crime and Punishment, for example, and many of his novels of St. Petersburg, the action takes place in St. Petersburg, and just everything happens there in Haymarket Square and in the area around, but further a little bit more to the center. And now we'll drive along Fontanka, which will give you the chance to see, well, pieces of land along Fontanka. That was the end of the city in Peter's days. The city was in between the Niva. 7 managed to survive. Then the river really looked very nice. And some you see walking. Bridges not for transport. They were made. But Leo Tolstoy is middle of 19th century, and Alexei Tolstoy is the very end of 19th, early 20th century, and that's where that writer lived, and so we remember this building is Alexei Tolstoy house. And on your right now, and on your left, are all the former mansions and royal family members' palaces. So that's on your right is Prince Golitsyn. The corner building, that crimson color, right next to the bridge with the horses. On your right is Count Vilasersky-Vilazersky Palace, which now houses municipal cultural center. On your left in the courtyard is one of the bridge, because the main street, really the main artery, I would say, of the city's body, of the city's heart, starts from Admiralty. You see the shining gold leaf spire. That's of Admiralty, maybe the most elegant building of the city, and goes for the grocery fabrics on the other side of Grand Hotel Europe. And many people work in this part of the city. It's downtown, it's working and cultural, and at the same time arch into the building, triumphant arch and triumphant chariot and triumphant column is just the commemoration of an Yava. That's what attracted Peter. There on your right you see a tiny island where Peter, because of its wonderful location, you see the walls of the fortress are overlooking the two main neighbors' arms. This is the part where the river divides into the two main arms, and they were for the invaders. The only way to make it all the way down. So Peter built the fortress in 1700s, as I told you, 1703. We consider it to be the oldest site, and the royal family chapel, the building for the spire, beacons in memory of his victory over Sweden. So they show the imitative prows of Swedish ships, and they got the name of...
If you can get that dead dog in.
Oh, it's not.
It is. It's all bloated up.
Building in front of us was his 12 collegium. 12 collegiums were his 12 ministries of Russian government. Later it would be called Senate, so I may also refer to it as Senate building. And it was really the most fascinating structure then, not only here in Petersburg or in Russia, but also in Europe. Look at its length. The size of the building is absolutely fascinating. 1718 was built to face this street, to face this canal. Actually, Peter wanted then this island to be crossed with canals to make it look like Amsterdam or Venice. And actually this never happened because they were not deep enough. And so he said, forget it, let them be lines. So this is the main door. From 1830s, when senators decided to move out, it is belonging to the Petersburg University, then Leningrad University, and now we are back to the old name, so it is St. Petersburg State University, 15 faculties, 20,000 students. It is one of our most popular higher learning establishments of the country, I would say. And here, the man there on the pedestal is Mikhailo Lomonosov, another very famous name of... He got the chance to work. Look at the structure, at the colors. It is rather unique. It is one of the oldest buildings of 1720s, and we say this is a good example. Because Peter really showed there a lot of his unusual things, that's anthropological collection of his, then Western European paintings, and they were of great, surprise to Russian people. Before Peter, we never drank tea or coffee. We simply did not know any tea or coffee. Peter really made, so that was a very high title, of course, and as the general governor, he managed to get that palace actually as beautiful palace even before the emperor's palace was finished and ready. And now of course, please have a look on your left and admire this other square. Within there, that big dome building is St. Isaac's Church. Will later be back to Isaac Square for you to admire that part. And now on your left is, we just really got a perfect stop here because you can see it a little bit at the side, even this.
St. Isaac's Church. The palace opposite was given to his daughter. Catherine's Palace. The Aurora, built in 1900. Battle in 1905. Now a museum. Cadet Naval College. Wasn't heard before. This is the Royal Navy. This is the Russian Navy Cadet College. Church of Spilled Blood.
Okay, Dada.
Groups to enter the building, and we make it 4 o'clock, please, back on the bus. I guide the tour, but it just means in case you separate, feeling tired or staying long in this other room, 4 o'clock.
Winter Palace and Hermitage Museum.
We've just been in there.
Been in there for about 2 hours.
We saw some Van Gogh paintings, huge. Not too bad, is it?
Very good, is it?
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Lights bad. I thought it'd been better than that here with a.
Yeah, I thought that sun is quite good, isn't it?
I think I'm shining enough to bring it up now.
This is the Winter Palace. A monument to Peter the Great. Peter and Paul fortress are seen from the palace. St Isaac's Cathedral, a monument to Nicholas I. This is a view from the colonnade of St Isaac's Cathedral. Summer Palace of Peter the Great. This is a monument to Catherine the Great. And the Pushkin Drama Theatre. This is a monument to Alexander Pushkin. Museum of Ethnography. The Spit of Vasilevsky Island. The Central Navy Museum. Kunstkammer, whatever that may be. The Winter Ditch Canal. Lomonosov Bridge. Bank Footbridge. This is the Fountain House. Engineer Mikolovsky's Castle. This is Torrid Palace. This is Smolny Palace Institute. Monument to the seafarer Ivan Krusenstern. Memorial cemetery for those who fell during the Nazi blockade in the last Great War. This is Nevsky Prospect. This is Admiralty Tower. The bridge on the Moika. This is Finland, Helsinki. This is a boat we're going to take the overnight crossing on. This appears to be some sort of military establishment. This is the marketplace, the morning market. They're just clearing away, after which
That's quite nice here, isn't it? That's probably their local costume, isn't it? $45.
is taken from the deck of the ship.
Silver.
Children's Day, two hydraulic lifts. View of the islands approaching Copenhagen.
That's right. You know, the camera's been in the wall, isn't it? And hadn't really sold it.
Yeah.
It's old, it really is.
I said to June,
1960.
But this is beautiful.
Ron and Pam were saying, oh, this is just like home.
This is Stockholm. This is a statue of Neil Erikson, whoever he may be. Swedish Central Post Office. Marketplace.
Plus 17.
The modern Swedish railway. Post office on the right once again. Crossing over from Sweden to Denmark. So we say farewell to Sweden.
No lorries, huh?
And Christmas Anderson.
We have only buses in Copenhagen. We're not getting them back, but get trams instead of the buses here. To Copenhagen by another bridge called Knippels Bridge. It's the quickest bridge in Copenhagen. It goes up and down in 19 seconds. To Gothenburg in Sweden, it's here for 2 years. Here to the left is the stock exchange. On the top, you'll see 3 crowns. It symbolizes Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. We're once united, and we were together with Norway up till 1814. This is the oldest stock exchange in the world, owned by the Merchants Guild. The next building you see further on here, also on your left-hand side, is Bishop Absalon, found in Copenhagen. This is number 4 of the palaces. In the older days it was a royal palace, but as it burned down, Sarah and 2 from Greenland, and we have an election every 4th year. So they're going to start the 5th of October. I usually say it symbolizes the way we are governing here in Denmark. I'm sure it's true. There's always something wrong. Would you like to see a pretty garden just for a few minutes?
Royal Palace.
No soul at all.
I am. You're right.
You're right,
You're
yeah.
right.
Royal Library building.
What is that? Oh,
And the library gardens.
this is the Royal Library.
Just like my garden. Yes, oh,
That's
aim.
mine. We have some.
Oh, we have.
Inside. Yeah, and he lived most of his life in Italy, in Rome, in the 18th century. I'm sure you have heard about a few of his works, Jason with the Golden Fleece, and the Switzerland in Lucerne, because it was an Englishman, Thomas Hope, who got it executed in marble. Here to the left is where the boat, and opposite here, if you please look to the left now, you will see another church, the Navy Church, Sailors the Fourth, about 1600. To the
In a minute we get down there, I'll have a photo taken.
out of Sweden in one day. And then she turned her 4 sons into oxen, and with them she plowed all Zealand out of the south of Sweden. If you look at a map, you'll notice a similarity between Lake Vänern in Sweden and the size of this part of Denmark named Zealand. This is a story. In front here is the Churchill Park, and over here is the English church, St. Albans Church, owned by the British community here. It consists of about 900 people. And there's a little bust of Sir Winston Churchill over there. It's a little good one.
When your mother lives there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some more cheap in the garden.
Garden.
I don't know. Maybe because she is here. The flag is here. And the Queen Mother lives over there. Oh, here you are. But we have some more. You think they will come? I'll just tell you that the Queen lives in there. And it looks like she's home. The flag is like that. And the Queen Mother
Right. Well, they are young, aren't they? Right. Oh,
I've got one of Jess. I've got one of them and that. All right.
English, right, too, is it? to it, is there really? Oh, sorry.
For a minute I thought you were doing something in the line. Over the armchair.
Oh, there they are over there.
Yes, right. Next one. Oh, next two.
Next to little bloke there on his own is the last one to go.
And then do the...
Oh, those two and that.
Then do the question. I think okay.
Taking a shot.
Just a cheese.
The line structure forward to the left is a new oil-fired power station.
Just arrived at Hotel M Step Park, Demhulst, near Bremen, for an overnight stay. Leaving tomorrow for France. There is some sort of a fairground outside the hotel window. But fortunately, it doesn't open until tomorrow, so we should have a good night's sleep. This is the town hall of the Rat House. We are near on the last leg of our journey home.